Stop blaming yourself for lacking motivation. The truth is, motivation isn't missing. It's trapped, scattered, lost in a fog of confusion. You've been spinning your wheels thinking you need more energy, more hype, more push, when all you really need is one thing: clarity. Because the moment you know exactly where you're going, your body will follow. Your excuses vanish, your fear disappears, your action becomes unstoppable. And that changes everything. Most people believe that motivation is this mysterious force that appears or disappears at random. They wake up some mornings feeling driven, ready to conquer the world, and other mornings feeling empty, weak, or lazy. And when that happens, they blame themselves. I just don't have the drive, they say. I must be lazy, unworthy, or broken. But here's a truth that most people never realize. Motivation is not missing. Motivation is always there. It's not a magic spark that chooses who to favor. It's a reflection of how aligned you are with your own clarity. The reason you feel stuck, the reason you feel drained, the reason you're frustrated with yourself, it's because your energy has no direction. Imagine a river. When the river has a channel, it moves powerfully, unstoppable, shaping valleys and creating waterfalls. But when that same river spreads out over a plain without direction, it becomes stagnant, slow, and lifeless. You are that river when you lack clarity. You have all the power, all the drive, all the natural energy to move mountains. But if you don't know where you're going, it dissipates. That's why people chase one thing after another, jump from goal to goal only to feel exhausted and unfulfilled. It's not because they lack desire. It's because they lack a compass. When you find clarity, when you define exactly what you want and why you want it, motivation becomes automatic. You don't have to force yourself. You don't need to push through with willpower or try to convince yourself to just do it. Your actions begin to flow because your brain now knows the target. Your heart feels the purpose, and your body follows instinctively. The energy you thought was missing was always inside you. It was simply misdirected, spread thin across too many possibilities, scattered by indecision, distracted by noise, and diluted by uncertainty. Once you focus it, once you point it in a precise direction, everything changes. Suddenly, what once felt like effort becomes excitement. What once felt impossible becomes inevitable. You realize that you've never lacked the fire to take action. You only lacked the lens to focus it. The river was never dry. You just needed the channel. And the moment you create that channel, the flow becomes unstoppable. Your steps become certain, and the results you've been craving suddenly feel within reach. Fear and procrastination are two of the biggest thieves of human potential, and most people treat them like enemies to fight. They try to pump themselves up to force motivation, to push through with willpower, only to find themselves stuck in the same patterns, day after day. The reason this happens is simple. Fear and procrastination are not the problem. They are the symptoms of confusion. When you are unclear about what you want or how to get it, your mind naturally resists action. The brain is wired to avoid risk, to protect you from mistakes, from embarrassment, from failure. So when the path is foggy, when the next step is undefined, fear creeps in. You hesitate, you delay, you distract yourself. Procrastination doesn't happen because you're lazy. It happens because you're unclear. And clarity is the antidote. When you define exactly what you want, when you identify the precise outcome you are after, fear shrinks because the unknown disappears. Your mind suddenly knows what action to take, and the resistance that kept you frozen begins to vanish. Procrastination melts away because there is no more guessing, no more debating with yourself about what comes next. Down to the smallest detail, the first move, the second move, the momentum you must create. That level of precision is what turns hesitation into unstoppable action. And here's the key. Clarity doesn't just make fear smaller. It makes courage bigger. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. When your vision is sharp, the fear that once seemed paralyzing becomes fuel. You act anyway because the cost of staying stuck is now greater than the discomfort of taking action. People spend years waiting for motivation, thinking that if they just feel ready, they'll finally start. But the truth is, clarity creates readiness. Clarity is what tells your body, move. This matters. This is the way. Fear loses its power the moment you see the path clearly. Procrastination loses its grip the moment the steps are undeniable. And suddenly, what once felt heavy, uncertain, and impossible begins to feel logical, simple, and unstoppable. The mind that was spinning in circles now moves in a straight line, cutting through excuses, slicing through doubts, and pushing you forward with precision and purpose. Energy is not random. Energy does not appear by chance, and it certainly does not disappear because you're lazy or unmotivated. Energy is like water, and it flows exactly where you give it direction. When you are uncertain, when your mind is cluttered, when your vision is hazy, energy scatters. It leaks into distractions. It gets wasted on doubt. It drains on meaningless tasks. You feel tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, and you tell yourself, I just don't have the drive. But the truth is, the energy was never missing. It was simply pointing in every direction except the one that matters. The human mind craves certainty, your end. Irva's system craves clarity. When you know exactly what you want, when you have a target in front of you that is sharp, specific, and undeniable, energy immediately flows toward it. It's automatic. Your focus sharpens, your decisions become easier, your actions accelerate. Think about it. When there's an emergency, your body doesn't debate whether to move, it just moves. You don't need motivation in that moment because clarity commands your energy. That same principle applies to your life. When your purpose is clear, when the outcome is undeniable in your mind, your energy follows. It fuels your productivity, your creativity, your persistence. It makes you do more in one focused hour than most people do in a distracted week. The problem is that most people waste their energy on vague goals, on I want to be successful or I want to be happy, without specifying what that actually looks like. Energy without direction is chaos. It burns you out, it exhausts you, and it leaves you feeling powerless. But energy with certainty is unstoppable. It becomes a force that pushes obstacles aside, that moves you through fear, that creates momentum you cannot resist. And here's the most powerful part. The more clarity you gain, the more energy you generate. It's a feedback loop. Certainty produces energy. Energy produces action. Action produces results. Results reinforce certainty. And suddenly, the life you've been dreaming about no longer feels like a distant fantasy. It feels tangible, achievable, and inevitable. Every choice you make, every step you take, is amplified because your energy is no longer scattered. It is focused. It moves straight toward your goal. It doesn't waver. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't stop. A clear vision is not just a nice idea. It is the engine that turns thought into action, dreams into results, and potential into achievement. Most people wander thread off life thinking effort alone will get them there, believing that if they simply try harder, push longer, or work smart, success will magically appear. But effort without vision is like running on treadmill. You're moving, sweating, expending energy, but you're not going anywhere. A clear vision changes everything. It gives your mind a destination, your heart a purpose, and your body a reason to move. When your vision is vivid, detailed, and compelling, action becomes almost automatic. You don't have to will yourself to take the next step. You take it because the future you see is so real, so undeniable, that inaction feels uncomfortable. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, looking across a canyon at the life you've always wanted. The distance is intimidating, the leap feels impossible, yet you can see it clearly. You can feel it, taste it, touch it in your mind, and that vision creates a gravitational pull so strong that your body must follow. That is what happens when you cultivate clarity. Uncertainty evaporates. Fear diminishes. Excuses fall away. You start taking steps that matter, moves that create momentum, actions that compound into massive results. And here's the beauty. The clarity of your vision doesn't just guide your actions, it transforms your entire state. You wake up energized, you make decisions quickly. You cut through distractions. You are no longer waiting for motivation to show up because the vision itself drives you. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Every setback becomes feed. Every obstacle becomes fuel because your focus is unwavering. The clearer your vision, the more unstoppable your action becomes. because your mind knows exactly what to do. Your heart knows exactly why you are doing it, and your body moves in alignment with both. You stop drifting, you stop wondering, you stop guessing, because the path is illuminated. People spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment or for motivation to strike, but the truth is that clarity is the moment. Clarity is the spark. Clarity is the force multiplier that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. And once you lock in on that vision, your action stops being optional and starts being inevitable.